Welcome everybody to another conversation. I am Kenny R. Hampton, and I'm super excited about this special edition of the On Deck Circle. Joining me tonight is a longtime friend of mine. He and I both spent some time playing football at Kentucky State University, and I'm just super excited about everything that this young man is doing. I looked up to him like a big brother. He was that guy that when I was deciding if I even wanted to play football, I looked up to how he prepared himself for the game and just the way that he approached the game of football. He did some incredible things at Kentucky State, and he's a former two-sport athlete doing some really big things. And I'm excited for everyone to kind of learn a little bit more about his story, learn about his journey, and more importantly, about what is next in his life. Here on the On Deck Circle, we love to share what we are going through, what we went through, so that we can help somebody else prepare to walk up to the plate and take that next swing at life, so that they too can be successful at whatever it is that they've been called to do in the next chapter of their lives. So if you're joining with us on Zoom, I just ask that you cut off your video so that we don't have any distractions, and also mute yourself. And also, if you are planning on joining us on Zoom, there will be a Q&A at the very end. So if you're joining us on Facebook and you want to ask some questions or holler at our guest after this conversation, feel free to go ahead and register. The link is in the live in the description, and we would love to have a conversation with you. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce to many and welcome to a lot of people, Gordon Gino Miles to the On Deck Circle. My brother, how are you, man?
What's up, Kenny, man? I'm good, man. Blessed, man. Happy to be here, man.
Man, makes two of us. Makes two of us, man. Well, you definitely been doing some incredible things, and I'm excited that we've been able to find time on our busy schedules for us to just sit back and have a conversation, because that's all we do here on the On Deck Circle, man. I try to make sure that we just be as comfortable as possible, be as transparent as possible, because there's somebody else that need to hear something that either you have gone through or I have gone through, or we both have gone through, that can help them in the next chapter of their lives, man. So let's just go ahead and dive right on into it, man. So just tell me a little bit about, we're gonna start at your childhood days, man. So tell me a little bit about what your childhood dream was growing up.
Man, I'm a Frankfort, Kentucky kid, born and raised. Okay. So my dream, just like any other kid, man, I wanted to be an NBA player, probably like you said, former two-sport athlete, had two loves. So I probably wanted to be the shooting guard on the Orlando Magic, right beside Penny Hardaway. And then I probably wanted to be, after Barry Sanders retired, I wanted to play for the Lions and, carry on his legacy as a running back. So I had normal kid dreams, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's I can relate, man. I remember back when growing up, and it's funny you say Barry Sanders, because me being from Detroit, I got an opportunity to really just idolize what Barry was able to do. And just imagine if Barry had like an Emmitt Smith line in front of him, what he could have done, because he did some incredible things with four defenders in his face as soon as he grabbed the pigskin.
Right. That's what made him special, man. That's what made him special. You know what I'm saying? He could make two people miss before he even touched the ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. With you sharing that Barry Sanders was somebody that you kind of looked up to and you wanted to walk in his footsteps, is that how you kind of modeled your athletic ability? Like, did you kind of like watch him growing up to the point where you was like, you know what? Because if you think about your football, the way you played the game, you were shifty like that.
Right. That's how I had to survive. You know what I'm saying? So
I love that.
From a football standpoint, I was never the bigger kid. I was always, one of the faster kids. And just out of pure survival, we always played with older kids. I think B-Bob was on here last time.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave some insight on where I came from as far as coming from Langford and Missouri Avenue, that block right there next to Kentucky State. And, if it wasn't college kids, it was high school kids. Even if I was, you know, in the 5th, 6th grade, it was somebody older I was playing against. So it was out of a didn't want to get hit type of deal. You know what I'm saying? And very, very kind of resemble that makes something out of nothing guy. And that's who I was.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So tell me a little bit about like one thing that, you know, I may not know about you, or a cool fact that that most people wouldn't really know about Geno.
Man, from an athletic standpoint, I think it's probably even be a surprise to you, man. My most talented sport, the sport I really had a chance in the most, was baseball.
Really?
Yeah. I was I was on a little league team that won the region. So that's, you know, every team from here to Michigan. We won that 2 years in a row. I was on a high school team that my senior year ended up in the state championship game. Probably had 4 or 5 guys from that team that went on to play college baseball. Okay. Daniel Clark was one of those. I believe it might have been your teammate at one point in time, or maybe he was there before you. Daniel Clark, one of those guys. Yeah. But if I really, you know, had a even though I did have a chance to play professional football in the Arena League, I think baseball probably would have been my best shot, man, to be honest.
Wow. Now, I knew we had the football connection because you played at K-State. You also played some arena ball, and so did I. I even spent some time with the Louisville Fire, just like you did. Right. But I didn't know that we shared that common denominator, man, with playing baseball, because, you know, that was my first love. I grew up at the age of 4 falling in love with that sport, and that's how I got to Kentucky State on a baseball scholarship. Right. I always had a desire to play football, but my parents kept me from the sport. But when I was done with baseball at K-State, man, I saw that opportunity to make that pivot. I went on and did it because I used to envy y'all, man. I used to go watch y'all practice on Jones Field at night and sit there like, man, like I can do that with those guys, man.
You bringing back some memories, man, when you say that. Nice at Jones Field.
And those night practices, I used to spend my time at the top of the hill, or sometimes I even go to the parking lot and just watch, man, and just be like, dude, I would love to be out there. I mean, seeing guys like you, you know, Derek Talbert, Marcus Wright, you know, Jeremy Douglas, those kind of Sean Johnson, all them dudes, man. I'm just like, man, like I would love to be out there. And then one day I was able to have that opportunity. So I'm thankful for that, man, that we both share that experience at K-State. You know, K-State has been good to us, and we, because of K-State, we have this bond now today.
Right. Absolutely, man. I'm glad you spoke on that too, man, because it's a brotherhood.
It is.
For sure. Like, those are the guys who will be in my wedding. I was in Derek Talbert's wedding. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Those are the guys who I call when I'm going through something. Delaney Richards, you know what I'm saying? All of those guys, man. We still close friends to this day, just because of that brotherhood and what we went through, you know, at Kentucky State.
That's what it's about, man. And that's a good point to mention, man, is that like the brotherhood that you have during those times, because be honest, man, we're just young kids just trying to figure out life, and we're passionate about this sport. So when we can share that together, that's an experience that we'll never forget. And we are who we are today because of that. So that's why I'm so excited about this On Deck Circle, because I like having conversation with, you know, current and former athletes, so that we can really talk about how we're standing on that foundation of things that we experienced, but we've learned so many things that has translated into where we're at today. And like, let's just go get right into it. Let's fast forward to when you were done playing ball. You know, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you was dealing with when you were when you hung them up and said, all right, it's a wrap. You know, what did that next chapter look like for you? What did that transition look like?
I definitely transitioned into fatherhood. I was, you know, kind of lost as to far as what I wanted to do. And, you know, through being a father, that gave me some direction as to where my energy needed to go. I was blessed that my daughter fed into the game of basketball the way she did. Her watching me play football, I believe, was a part of the toughness that she, you know, has today. She's used to seeing people get hit since she was, you know, my sophomore year of college is when I had her. I was, you know, 20 years old when I had her, still in the middle of my football career. So,
wow.
I think life after was just me trying to support a family and trying to be there, you know, where I kind of fit in as a man.
Man, I love that, man. And here's another thing that you and I share. We actually had our children where we became parents while we were at Kentucky State. And see,
Right,
a lot
man.
of people don't really know that about my story. And I'm actually being more transparent about that because I think it is very important that people can understand and relate to that because we're forced with two things. Either we're going to man up and take care of our responsibility, which obviously you said that you've done,
Right.
or we could just go ahead and like just like ignore it and just be irresponsible. But we didn't do that. We allowed that situation to be a stepping stone in our lives versus being a stumbling block.
Absolutely.
And the bond that you have with your daughter and how you have made that situation, it's translated into one of your shiniest trophies to where you did everything you could to go as hard as you could and figure out whatever you needed to figure out in order to provide for her a better opportunity in life. So I commend you for that. I salute you for that because I've experienced it too. So this goes to any other person that's dealing with that right now who has this situation in their lives. We're encouraging you to do all you can to make sure that you take care of that responsibility to the best of your ability, and it's going to work out together for your good. So
absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about this bond between you and Brooklyn. You said she has a love for basketball, right? So with what you're doing now as training athletes, is that kind of where that passion came from when you decided, you know what, she's natural. Let me go ahead and pour into her, and it evolved into you training athletes?
I wish it was that simple, Kenny. I really do. That would be the fairy tale story, and that would be, you know, but that's just not how it happened, man.
Okay.
When she first started playing basketball, and I really didn't think I had much, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that she enjoyed playing. I knew that she could run a little faster than most of the girls and that she could keep up with the boys a little bit. She could always jump as high as the boys. She could always run as fast, but the skill level wasn't there in the beginning. So I think it was more of me just doing, like you said, my mind was made up as I was going to be the best father I could be, no matter what. I knew that's what God wanted. I knew that's what my mother wanted. I knew that was best for the situation, for my kids to grow up. So I took the point on, you know, whether it was her, you know, figuring herself out when her mother had her in dance classes for the first, you know, 5 or 6 years of her life. I was at every dance recital. I was picking up or dropping off at every practice. So when it came to our relationship, I was just all in to the point of I was going to be there 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? So when the basketball started, it was the same thing. Like, you want to play basketball. Okay, I see that you enjoy it. I really wasn't thinking that she was going to be as talented as she is. So I was just all in. I was all in. You know, in the beginning, she didn't want me as involved. You know what I mean? Because I was dad. So I understood. I backed off as long as I could. And then it just got to a point where I was the best thing for the situation, and I wasn't gonna, you know, allow anything else to interfere. So we started to bond as far as basketball goes. As she grew, I grew as a person. It was a roller coaster. Like I said, it was not fairy tale. We've been to our breaking points as far as people. It got to a point where she quit basketball. It's got to a point where I've recognized that I need to be trainer and dad opposed to coach. That way we don't bring the wins and losses home. You know what I mean? So it's been a process and a journey, man. And like I said, the best thing and the only thing that I've ever done was commit myself 1,000%. And, you know, that's in That's physically, that's mentally, that's spiritually, that's everything, man. So I'm just 100% all in. And a lot of people don't know she has a little sister that is on the same path as far as just starting, man. She's talented at volleyball. She's talented at softball. She can play basketball. She's writing song lyrics already. So I got another, another journey on my hands, going right now as we speak.
I love it, man. I mean, you just dropped so much heat just now, man. Like it was so powerful where I wanted to like do like some fist pumps, but then I actually wanted to grab a handkerchief and wipe a couple tears, bro, because like I don't think you realize how powerful what you just said is. You said that you was there 1,000%. And you was there taking her where she needed to be. You had the spirit of presence, like you was there. And she'll never forget that, man, because, Brooklyn, my daughter Kennedy, our son KJ, your youngest daughter, they only get one childhood, bro. Absolutely. We get one shot at this childhood thing. And we're doing the best we can with the resources that we have to give them everything we got. And brother, I know that a lot of people have been talking about girl dad this and girl dad that, and a lot of it stemmed from Kobe's, rest in peace, the Black Mamba, as far as his transition. But man, you embody it, bro. Like I thought that I was doing it, but man, you definitely embody it, and I just want to salute you. I just want to let you know that it doesn't go unseen, and the best is still yet to come in what you're doing in the life of Brooklyn. And you're laying a foundation for her that is going to allow her to do some amazing things in life. And I'm excited to see what else God has in store for you. You touched on something that I do want to spend a couple seconds to talk about, bro. Okay. And you mentioned a very important individual, your mother, Mrs. Miles, and she was a sweetheart. Like, I remember going in. Your mom done bailed me out of several late bills at Frankfurt Plant Board. So I would be remiss if I didn't at least give a shout out to her. And I'm sure that she's proud of what you're doing. And I'm sure she's, ecstatic about what's happening in the life of her grandbaby, man. So
I appreciate it.
Shout out to your whole family, man, for just doing an incredible job. But you definitely are the girl dad, like like you are that guy, man. So what exactly like does that term even mean to you? Like when it came out, I'm sure you felt it, because I know I did. I coached Kennedy's basketball team, but I had to be careful because I was bringing home those wins and losses to the crib, and it didn't work out well with our relationship, bro. Like it caused some friction, and I had to like draw the line. So talk to me about like what that girl dad meaning, what it means to you.
Well, first, just the word girl dad and what it stems from, the Kobe Gianni situation. That was huge, man. It's not like, of course, I didn't know Kobe personally, but I'm somebody who followed him as a person because as he was growing up, I was growing up in the game of basketball. Right. So I watched him go from arrogant, cocky Kobe, kind of nobody wants to play with, ball hog Kobe, to the last night that he played and the speech that he gave, and you could just tell he had grown a lot. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot. So what that word means to me is special, man, because I saw what he meant to his daughter's life, and for anybody to put that title towards my name, and especially at the highest level, is like you said, like it's an honor, man. Yeah. It's nothing but an honor and a blessing, man. And like I said, all I ever did and all I ever do for my children, is show up 1,000% and just keep showing up. Wow. So, and as far as me just being a mentor because Brooklyn's not the only child that I mentor that's female. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of expands to me to some of the girls that I'm their discipline. I'm there. Some of the girls that I train, they don't necessarily get the stern foot in their behind everywhere else in their life. So So it's special to me that people would put that title anywhere near my name, man. It's just an honor, bro.
Wow. Wow. I mean, and you do a phenomenal job embracing it. I tell you that because I know that you train athletes, but when you're a trainer or if you're any type of coach in someone's life, you're so much more than that. And what I'm doing now is it's evolved into more, like you say, a mentor-mentee relationship.
Right.
And that's so important right now. A mentor of mine said that you should always be mentoring and somebody should always be mentoring you. So,
Right.
For us to be in positions where God has trusted us to pour into these young athletes, man, it's truly a blessing and it's exciting. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where more people really should embrace this opportunity because it's making an incredible impact and it's giving back. It's sowing into the lives of these young folks, man. So
Absolutely.
how did you get to a point where you decided like, all right, I'm going to train athletes? Because you don't just train, pro athletes. You train from, Pee Wee all the way to the pro level. So when did it click for you? Like, this is it. Like, this is what I enjoy doing.
I think it was my experience in the city of Frankfort and in the central Kentucky area.
Okay.
It's probably what started. So it was kind of I understood the need for athletes to have direction in my area. So it's been a lot of people that I looked up to that came through the city of Frankfort, especially because that's where my love starts. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm from. That's my granny's block. That's where my mama lived. Like that I'm so Frankfort. You know what I'm saying? Like I am.
I ain't mad at it. Represent.
Right, but absolutely. But like I was saying, it just came from the need to see that the athletes in that area needed direction. We had a bunch of Division I athletes, similar to Brooklyn, similar to Wandale Robinson, similar to a lot of the kids that you see that are getting attention now from Frankfort. That even people that I looked up to, but they all went to jail after high school. You know what I'm saying? Or they worked for the state. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that they weren't talented enough. It was that nobody was around to mentor them. You from Detroit. You get to see pros every day and how they operate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got guys who come back from wherever, come back to Detroit after their pro career, wherever they played, and get back to the community, or just their presence. People can actually visually see how they handle themselves. They can, parents or people involved who have athletes can get advice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like there's none of that in Frankfort. You know what I mean? So that was the need right there. So I was trying to figure out how can I bridge the gap between Frankfort and, Kentucky State for one, University of Louisville, University of Kentucky, and I saw my fit, man. I saw my fit as a trainer. God put it in my mind early and made it very evident that this is what I was supposed to be doing. So, man, I just, pinned my ears back and just went to work, man.
Man, I love it. I love how you noticed there was a need. You identified a need and you took action. And that's so important right now. During this season that we're going through with all the pandemics and just how 2020 has been a tough year. But you've done something. Like you're on the front line for your city. And there's a lot of athletes that are going to stand on your shoulders because of the foundation you're laying, because of what you're doing with your program. To your point about Detroit, we do have a lot of kids that come out of Detroit and go to the league just because of the history that's there.
Right.
You're going to be the one that's actually going to like put Frankfort on the map for producing those type of athletes.
That's powerful.
And powerful. Like if not you, then who? So to see you do this is truly remarkable, and I salute you for that. I mean, we talk about walking up to the batter's box to hit our next, for our next at bat, bro, you hitting home runs like
Man, look,
these aren't singles, bro.
It took time, bro. I had my seasons where I needed the BP and the extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I trained for years for free, bro. Like for real. Like it took me 5 years before I ever even made $1 behind this. And it's because I loved it that I stayed with it. It's because that I saw results from kids and the way they lit up when I told them we had workouts, and the feeling that we got as the vibe we got as we was working hard together. You know what it feels like, man, when you working your ass off, man.
Yes.
And you getting that feeling. It don't come from nowhere else.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir. Right. I love it, man. I love the fact that you're just like, you know what, this is it. Like after all these years, you embrace process. And a lot of times people quit during the process because they haven't obtained the product or the final goal. But man, they don't realize they're that close to something special happening, man. So for you to muscle through those times and to really like say this is the lane I'm gonna be in, and to execute it, bro, that's huge. That is huge, man. So how do you juggle fatherhood and training your daughter? Because for those who don't know, your daughter just recently committed to the University of Tennessee to play basketball. She's going to be a volunteer. There we go. You gotta represent.
Yeah, I'm repping.
Go Balls.
Go Balls. You see, baby.
So man, talk to me about not only that process, but like how do you juggle the coach mentor role with her, and also just being her friend and being her dad?
Man, like I said before, it was a rocky road, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to grow as she grew. I had to understand, like I said before, and like you agreed to, those wins and losses cannot come home with you.
No.
That will ruin your relationship. That will make the sport or whatever you got going on unfun. You know what I'm saying? To be around, to deal with. It's just a bad situation altogether. So we've definitely been through that. Just a quick story, man. Her 9th grade year, she actually quit basketball. So a lot of people don't know her freshman year, even though she has a bunch of stats career-wise, she didn't play basketball her freshman year at all. You know what I mean? I'm dead serious. So going through that, I believe, was a breaking point for both of us. You know what I mean? It had me, I can't drive and not love in between. You know what I mean? So
that's good.
We definitely learned together, and it went to the point where her mother, some other people in the family thought that we maybe should have forced her to play. She had already had letters from a bunch of SEC schools, a few ACC schools at the time as a freshman. We kind of already knew the direction it was going, but we had to let it go. You know what I'm saying? So I think us going through that process, I prayed more than I've ever prayed before during that time, just for direction for her if she wasn't going to play basketball. I learned that no matter what I think the path and the road should be, that God is always in control, and what he wants is best, because now she has a passion for basketball that's just unmatched. You can tell that year off, she missed it. She understands where she is as a young lady. You know what I mean? It's been one of the best times and one of the most troubling times of our life. You know what I mean? Wow. It was very necessary, and I'm thankful that it happened. But during the time period, man, it was like I learned that the wins and losses are not important. There's a bigger picture. There's these are still young ladies. You know what I mean? Like as I'm training, as I'm coaching, I have to remember these are young ladies. They operate and they think differently. And it's made me a better person. It's made me a better father. It's made me a better boyfriend and husband. You know what I'm saying? It's just helped my life tremendously, man. And it's something that probably wouldn't have happened if I didn't have two girls.
Man, I tell you what, man. You don't realize it, but what you're pouring out right now, I'm like in the front row, just taking it all in, because Kennedy and I are at that. We're at that 9th grade year with her, and I coached her coming out of her 8th grade year, and it was up and down. It was rough, but now she's being exposed to what it looks like to train as a, to see what the varsity players are doing, and seeing her opportunities as well. And she's going through her workouts now, where Monday through Thursday, it's just her and that squad going after it, getting it in.
Grind mode.
Yeah, and she's now at a place where she's ready, because I don't want to. One thing I was doing was getting out in front of her, and I felt like there was a pull, and so that was hindering our relationship. So now there's not a pull; we're more so alongside of one another, and we're jogging this thing out together, and it's exciting, man. So I shared with her, Brooklyn's announcement, and also shout out to the Godfreys, their daughter.
Absolutely, Kanisha.
She's gonna be playing SEC ball as well, man. So there's amazing things coming out of those K-State thoroughbreds, man.
Fun fact: her Kanisha and Brooklyn played on the 7th grade national team that came in 5th in the nation. Fifth in the nation. Beat a number 1 team from Oklahoma, who at the time already had a 7th grader who was verbally committed to the University of Oklahoma. So that's how good she was. They hadn't lost a game in their age group in like the last 5 years. Brooklyn and Kanisha were a huge part, both starting guards on the team, both a tremendous part of the win. So they share some success and a sisterhood together, man. So
that's
and it's fun for me and Javar, man. You already know, man. We get to kick it.
I bet, man. So it's exciting to see, these beautiful young ladies, man, that are passionate about this sport, and it's also even more amazing and cool to see fathers right there in their corner that have their back, really embracing the whole girl dad. And that's why the topic of this conversation is so applicable, man. Love and basketball, because it's deep. You all are actually living this message, man, and it's genuine. You can tell that it's something that's authentic. You got a lot of love that's coming your way from Facebook, man.
Appreciate it, man. Love.
Quite a few people have gave you some shout outs, man. So I definitely want to let you, embrace all that as well. Justin Hatchett, Alonzo Scott.
Hey, what's up, baby?
Erica Thomas, man. It's a lot of people that are showing you some love, man. So I just want to let you know, I'm all about giving people flowers while they can smell them. So,
man, I appreciate it. All of y'all. That's my K-State family, man. I love y'all. Say breads.
You already know, man.
Yes, sir.
I believe Crawford and Rodney Wright, they are in the Zoom with us, and they showing you a lot of love in the chat too, man. So
appreciate it.
If y'all don't know, that's how we do with K-State. Like we a big family. We gonna rock with each other. We gonna support each other. We gonna do everything that we can to uphold each other and let each other know that we got each other's back. So that's just what we do here in the Kentucky State Thoroughbred family.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit more about that decision that she made, man. Like, how was that process? Because there's some parents out here that are on the cusp of experiencing something like that. So what is something that you think that like some advice that you could possibly give? Because you and Brooklyn went on a lot of visits. I saw UK, I saw Purdue. I saw a lot of D1 schools, and I'm sure she had tons of offers from the smaller D1 schools. But how did you all really did you let her make the decision? Did you kind of give her some advice on it? Talk to me a little bit about that.
It was definitely an open conversation between, me and her and her mother, me and her grandfather, me, her and her grandfather. We all talked about it all the time. We kept it an open-ended conversation. We all gave our insight on everything. I think when it came down to it, she made a list of about 4 or 5 things that were absolutely important to her. I made a list of about 2 or 3 things that were absolutely important to me. Her mother did the same thing. Okay. And we just kind of coordinated that thing. I tell you what changed a lot of this is the COVID situation.
I was going to ask you about that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. COVID actually stopped us from going on a few visits. We didn't get to visit the University of Miami. We didn't get to visit North Carolina State, who were in our top 5 still.
Oh, wow.
But and that was all because of COVID. You know what I mean? There was no way that we could travel. It just wasn't going to happen. We had to do Zoom meetings and virtual visits to where we would get to see everything, and they would tell us about it, but we didn't physically get to go there. I don't think that had a huge deal on factor on what she wanted to do, but it was a part of our process, and it was something that even though this is our first recruiting process, it was something I was unfamiliar with, some of the coaches were unfamiliar with. Everybody was just kind of working on the fly. I think, and I think at one sense, we kind of understood that most of the coaches were going to stick with the recruiting that they had already done for the season. They weren't going to really look at any more athletes. Wow. Even though, you know, they kind of understood that they weren't going to be able to be in the gym and physically get a look. You know, they still stream these games, but it's nothing like firsthand seeing you against another girl that they're recruiting, or you know, whatever the case may be. So I think we got a sense of that was the deal. So we finally cut it down to a top 5. And then I think the final decision maker was just the sisterhood that you're a part of, being an athlete at the University of Tennessee, and especially women's basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, Shamiqua Holmes-Claw, Don Staley, you know, Candace Parker. It's so many people you can name. And, you know, for Brooklyn to be a part of what they're calling the comeback, you know what I mean? She's the point guard that is going to fuel the engine that's going to get them back to national championship stature.
Ooh, I believe that. I love hearing that.
She believes that. The coaches believe that. We are totally on board. We are orange to the socks right now. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it's contagious. I think the football team is on the same path. I think they're ready to get back to national championship stature. And it's contagious throughout the campus, man. I absolutely love that she stayed close. I can get a rental car instead of have to buy a plane ticket. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, you know, going to the campus, seeing the Pat Summitt statue, me being a 80s baby and just growing up in the 90s and early 2000s and watching the dominant teams at Tennessee, like it was just, once we had that offer, I think it was pretty much a done deal.
And I can't even be mad at that, man, because the history and the legacy of the long list of championship and former players. And then when you got Pat Summitt, man, her legacy there, it's a really special place. And I don't think you can pass that up, man. If Kennedy had an opportunity like that, it's tough to compete with that. And I know that there's some other top schools out there, don't get me wrong, but that's special and that's different. And you said that she has an opportunity to participate in the comeback. So this is a chapter of Tennessee's history and their story that she's going to have a huge impact on.
Absolutely, man. Can you imagine the headlines, man? Tennessee back in the national championship again after, you know, however many years. And the head coach there was the point guard when Shamiqua Holmes-Claw was there. So she's won 3 national championships as a player.
Oh, okay.
So the groundwork is set.
Yes, sir.
They're one of the only 4 teams I think that have gotten at least 4 ESPN top 100 girls. So got a good class coming in with Brooklyn. Had a good class that came in last year. They ready to make some noise, man.
It sound like it, man. I just got pumped up. Chills all on my body now, man. Excited to see this season kick off or tip off. I got a special place in my heart for the University of Tennessee, man, because that's where a lot of people don't really know this, but that's where my life changed. Where I walked into Peyton Manning's indoor facility that he has there, and competed one last time to get drafted to that All-American Football League that came out in '07 that didn't actually kick off because it postponed play. But it was in that building on that campus because that was going to be our home field. So our family was there for the draft festivities and all that. And that community, that volunteer nation is no joke. Like, they are diehard orange and white all day long. And I always got a special place. That's actually a little bit of why the Underdog Mentality, my book that's out, has that orange cover to it, because it plays a special place in my life, man. And, you know, and speaking about the underdog, you know, you've been able to be an underdog as an athlete. Your daughter has been able to be an underdog, but it's like now you guys are kind of transitioning to being the favorites to win. Like you now have a platform, you have a program where you're taking kids and you're taking pro athletes to the next level through your training because of the things that you've been successful at and some things that you've been able to overcome. So talk to me about the experience, man, of like, how cool is it working with professional athletes, man?
Man, it's a dream come true, man. You know, other than playing, what else would you want to be doing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right. I just been inspired by quite a few people, man. So I always knew I wanted to be around sports. I didn't know this was my lane. I had no clue. When I was coaching, I didn't understand that this was my lane. But since God has made it clear, man, it's been a bunch of special opportunities. Jazz Ferguson, Rajon Rondo, just to name a few. You know, and they push me, man. They ask for more. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think I gotta work out that's gonna kill everybody out, they calling me after it's done, like, man, can we get a midnight run in too? You know what I'm saying? Can we get shots up at 12 too? So they're teaching me that what the tempo looks like. You know what I'm saying? As far as your day to day, as far as your nutrition, as far as what time you go to sleep, as far as, you know, the little things and stuff that I really pinpointed on as an athlete my last few years, but it wasn't a pure habit of mine. These guys are, you know, from probably 8th grade on, have been eating the same thing or improving their eating habits. They've been, you know, focusing on certain muscles and parts of their body since high school that I only, you know, the last 3 years of my career learned that existed. Wow. So I'm learning just as much from them as I'm teaching. And I think, man, it's just been a blessing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Logan Woodside, the quarterback that I trained, Tennessee Titans, also Cincinnati Bengals. He's another kid, man, that I watched him grow up. He just a dog, man. Won't accept no for an answer. You know, he's another kid that's calling me after a workout, ready to just get back in. Just let me get a couple hours sleep and let's get another workout in. You know what I'm saying? One of them kids. So it's been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing.
That's amazing, man. You know, some people know this and some people don't, that when Rajon used to be in Frankfurt, you know, we used to cross paths, and when he was down in Kentucky, I used to cut the men's basketball team most of their hair. So I got an opportunity to chop him up before, and I still got a relationship with his brother to this day, Will.
Good people.
Yeah, man. Rajon and Will, man, they phenomenal people, man. And one thing that I have taken from Rajon is his tenacity. Like, bro, I remember being over his cousin's crib. This was summers ago, like probably over 10 years ago. Yeah. And it was a family gathering there. And bro, like, he's going hard at cornhole, bro. Like, I'm like, is he for real? And it's like, nah, like this is what it is. I'm talking trash, going hard. And they like, bro, like this is just what he do. Like, this is how he get down. And you know, because I'm cool with Joe Crawford. He and I are really good friends because we played against each other in high school. And
Right.
so he would let me come in and watch them practice and things like that, man. And he used to tell me like, dude, this fool Rajon is a different guy. Like he is a different guy. But if you
Yeah.
look at his career
Hmm.
and you look at how he's been able to obtain success, like
Hmm.
that's what it's about. And I'm glad to see that you two have a relationship where it's like iron is sharpening iron,
Man,
where he's
it's
pushing you and you pushing him.
absolutely, man. Like I said, I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. That's incredible. So what's your advice, man, on somebody that maybe want to get into your industry, get into your lane, your line of work? You already
Mhm.
said you don't put in like 5 good years of doing this for nothing, and now
Yeah.
you're at a point where you're now training professional athletes. So what is something that you
Hmm.
would give to a young aspiring trainer that's wanting to get into this industry?
Hmm. Man, the first thing I would say is find a need. You know what I
Mm,
said, like I did. There was a need in my city for direction, which
okay.
led me to sports training in the beginning because I knew that's what I had knowledge to give. So if you want to do this as a profession, I would say do what you're comfortable with. Pick a
Okay.
lane and run with it, man. Everything that anybody's ever taught you, perfect it. Everything that you learn on the fly, everything that you study, perfect it, and that choosing a lane is huge. When I first started training, uh, like you said, I actually played 4 sports in high school. So I ran track,
Okay.
played football, basketball, and played baseball. So
Uh,
I had a basic knowledge of all 4 of them. I
mhm.
had a pure passion for basketball, and I had a high knowledge for football because I played for Cornell Burbage at Kentucky State.
Shout out to
I
Coach
also,
Bird.
yeah, Coach Burb, you already know it's my guy, and that that put me in those 2 lanes. I also accepted baseball as it came. I would do just speed and agility as it came. But when I really picked the lane and I said I'm a basketball trainer and I said this is what I'm doing, promoting the kids and the people that I worked with and actually putting their talent on display and allowing their games and the stuff that they were doing to speak for me,
Yeah.
that's when I really started having some success. So I see a lot of people that actually train, but they'll take any and every job that comes to them, if that
Mm,
makes sense.
yeah.
Uh, so my suggestion would be just find that lane and that avenue that fits you best, and something that you love and something that you have passion for, something that never gets boring to you, and run with it, man. Accept no, it's gonna happen. Accept being kicked out of gyms. Accept being kicked off of fields. Accept people not agreeing with you. Just accept all of that stuff. Soak it in and keep pushing.
That's amazing, man. So tell me just a little bit, or let us know a little bit more about like what prototype athletics is about.
Mm-hmm.
You train all sports, and
Mm-hmm.
you also did some things that was pretty cool with Michael Vick not
Mm-hmm.
long ago, and I had a chance to cross paths with him with some scouting in Atlanta for the Alliance of American Football
Nice.
last fall, which he's an incredible guy, by the way.
Absolutely.
And I saw that you was able to partner with him. So talk to me a little bit about what Prototype Athletics is about and how was
Mm-hmm.
that experience also with working with Mike?
Prototype Athletics is exactly what our mission statement says. We're a group that is going to enhance the skill level, mindset of athletes, as well as give them a discipline and a background, or excuse me, a some intuition as far as life goes.
Okay.
So that's who we are. That's what we do. As far as the Mike Vick situation, man, we had a great time. We actually did a tour through a couple states,
Mm-hmm.
doing camps for kids. Had over 400 kids every camp we did. Had an amazing time. Taught some amazing lessons from football and a life standpoint. Uh, Mike is a guy who just living his life, man, is example of don't give up. An
Fact.
example of everybody deserves second chances. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So working with him, man, was special. We also got a chance to work with Ocho Cinco, a
Oh
character,
wow.
man.
Okay.
Yeah. He was at one of the camps too. The one we threw here in Louisville.
Yeah,
Man, he's exciting to be around, man. Got
I
plenty to
heard.
talk about all the time, man. Fun. He keep you lit up the whole time, man. We had an amazing time, man, with that stuff. And the
That's
best thing
awesome.
about it was we got to offer those camps for free. You know, so all of those kids, like I just talked about earlier, a lot of kids don't get a chance to actually see pros and touch pros, and you know, and we're limited here in the state of Kentucky as far as what we can offer and what these kids can see. So to bring a guy to Kentucky like Mike Vick, come on, man, like
that was huge.
right.
That was a big deal, man. I was
man.
excited to see y'all pull that one off, man. And it looked like you had some challenges, but you muscled through them and you was able to make it work.
Man, the challenges actually boosted the potential of the camp.
Wow.
Like the news coverage, the Facebook coverage, everything, it made people want to help us. It made people want to come out. So it did the work for us, to be honest with you. It was a blessing in disguise.
That's amazing, man. I tell you what, you know, when you're able to reach that level of success with the with whatever you're doing, whatever your craft is, you know, it's just really encouraging to see the fruits of your labor actually, like the seeds you've sown, you know, come to harvest. And for you to experience moments like that, that just gives you a little bit more gas, if you need it anymore, to keep pushing, to keep making sure that you're pouring into these young folks. Because I tell you what, man, they'll never forget it. And the people around the program are going to do everything they can to continue to help you do more of that. So I'm excited about what's next for you, man, and how you're able to take this thing to even to another level. You know, for you being that one in that you know, in Frankfort to help these kids go to the next level, that's a big deal. And you the guy definitely for the job, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
You definitely the guy for the job. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to, before we get off of here, I'm gonna let Gino let everybody know how you can get in contact with him, how you can follow Prototype Athletics to learn more about the program, and maybe if you're in that area, you know, get your child exposed to this type of training so that your kid can take their game to the next level. And then when he's done, we're actually gonna hop over into our Zoom so that we can have some Q&A. So if you haven't registered, please go ahead and register. If you're on Facebook joining us, and then you can hop over in the Q&A section with us, myself, Gino, and quite a few other people to have some conversation with Gino. So go ahead and let everybody know how they can get in contact with
you. Man, you can catch me right here on Facebook, Gordon Miles, GordonMiles. You can also catch me on Instagram at Prototype Athletics _2306. Those are the two best ways to get a hold of me. I'm on Twitter, but it's all connected. So you can get my Twitter all through the Instagram and all of that good stuff. Those are the three best ways to reach me. I also have a league, basketball league that's kindergarten through 5th grade.
wow.
Yeah, we got about 150 kids right now signed up. We're just waiting on the COVID stuff to kind of calm down before we get back started. We've had 3 successful leagues so far. You can sign up for that league and all our celebrity camps at www.createdplayer.llc.com. So you can catch us there, you know, and just be looking out, man. We're everywhere.
Hey, it sounds like Prototype Athletics is the program that you need to be tapping into. I will say that Created Player League looked like it's a fun league. Isn't it? You guys kind of like do the draft and all that stuff and kind of do it big, right? Where they become a part of NBA teams, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We do a draft where the kids dress up, the coaches dress up. I dress up as kind of the commissioner type of deal. We bring them on stage, hold their jersey up, let them take pictures, announce their name, let them get their feeling of they are part of something. They get to meet their coaches that night. mid-season, we also do an all-star game and an all-star challenge. So we do the full court skills challenge. We lower the rims and do a dunk contest. We do a 3-point shootout. So man, the league is super lit. Again, you can sign up there too at www.creativeplayerllc.com.
Hey, if we got kids in that area, that's the league you want to be in. So make sure you head over to that website, tap in with this amazing program with this outstanding leader. He's doing an incredible job sowing into the lives of these young folks. Again, this is another great conversation with the On Deck Circle. Each week, we're going to be talking to athletes about what that next at bat looks like. And this was a great way to kick off the Love and Basketball series that we're going to be tapping into with the hashtag Girl Dad. So if you're on Facebook, hop on over to Zoom. That's what we're about to hang out for a few minutes with the one and only Gino, and we're about to have a good conversation. Yeah.
Kenny, before we get off here, man, off the live, man, I just want to commend you on everything that you're doing, bro. I'm paying attention. I'm tapped into everything. You got a beautiful family. You're doing it the right way, bro. Like, God's going to bless you. Just keep grinding.
Man, I appreciate that. It means a lot coming from you. You know, I consider you a big bro, and I'm glad that we both have a platform that we can share together and to continue to put others in front of us, man, and do some amazing things in the lives of other people. So, man, hey, I appreciate you, man, and let's continue to work together. This is only the beginning.
Absolutely, man.
All right, so Facebook, we'll see you guys later, and we're going to hop over on Zoom.